Tonight at 5, snow and alert days in our forecast. The winter weather's impact on road conditions and when to expect the most bitterly cold temperatures.
Plus, hear from members of Madison's Iranian community how they describe the dire situation abroad as the country's government conducts a deadly crackdown on protesters.
And later, a new law set to bring whole milk back to school lunches. How one Wisconsin dairy farmer says that will impact the industry. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for staying with us tonight at 5.
And News 3 Now's First Warn Weather Team has been tracking the snow today. Also, alert day conditions over the next few days. Tonight at 5, we're bringing you some team coverage of the weather and its impact, especially when it comes to our road conditions.
News 3 Now's Arman Rahman is out on our live drive, and meteorologist Blaze Keller is on the weather patio with the forecast. And let's begin there tonight at 5. Blaze, what can people expect tonight and for the weekend?
Scattered snow showers, an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow, because we're going to be dealing with snow pretty much through Sunday night. Now, we've already picked up about 2 inches of snow this morning across a lot of southern Wisconsin, and we're now beginning to see Radar 3000 get filled back up again with the blue. We had a bit of a break this afternoon, but now the snow is moving back in. Not as intense out along the Mississippi River across parts of Vernon as well as Crawford County and northern parts of Grant County, but we are still eyeing a heavier pocket of snow just south of Loganville in Sandusky, Loretta, as well as Plain and Honey Creek there, just outside of Richland County into Sauk County. So let's take another look off into Janesville. We had a little bit of snow move on through now. That's beginning to push more into Walworth County, right along 43, Bradford, as well as into Johnstown, dealing with more of that snow along as well as the Milton area. Into Dane County, stretching from pretty much Stoughton back north and west into Cross Plains, dealing with that snow, especially up there into Cross Plains and Waunakee. We also find a heavier snow shower moving through Shorewood Hills, pretty much right along 151 there through downtown Madison. That's where we find the Edgewater Skycam. A few folks are out and about on the lake. It probably has frozen a little bit since we've cooled on down. We're sitting at 34 degrees though, and this is going to be our warmest day over the next 7 to 10. A couple chances that our highs may not even get into those double digits. We'll take a look at the snow totals that we can expect and those blasts of Arctic air in the full forecast. And now we'll send it to Arman, who's out driving on the roads. Arman, how's it looking out there?
Yes, we are on the Beltline headed west. We just passed through most of the city of Middleton here. I'm going to have you take a look at what the Beltline looks like right now. Pretty clear on US 1218. Obviously, the plows keeping this and other main thoroughfares very clear and very plowed as of late. Now, only 2 inches of snow had fallen last night, as Blaze may have mentioned, so they are not declaring today a citywide plowing day. They will not be attacking those side streets. So those are the ones that are right now still pretty covered with snow. So if we do happen to get those possible potential snowstorms or snow squalls, those might be a little bit more dicey. The flakes are falling right now here on the Beltline as we're headed west, and I can already see in a lot of those side streets off to the side that the snow is still piled up on those streets, so those might want to be a little bit more cautious as you're coming back home on your evening commute. And we're going to be out here all night watching that commute for you here, as well as those other roads in the county that still remain pretty green right now as that system potentially moves in here going into 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live on the Beltline headed west, I'm Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
All right, Armand, thank you. The Adams County Office of Emergency Management is offering several locations for people in need of warmth during Saturday's cold temperatures. Those include the Cedar Street Library, the Community Center, the Amplify Health by Gunderson Friendship Hospital, and more. You can find a full list of warming centers at this story on channel3000.com. And you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has an hourly temperature outlook, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Well, developing now, the Jewish Federation of Madison says it's initiating an independent external review of a Dane County summer camp's policies and operations. The group's executive committee says in summer of 2025, staff learned of an accusation that an adult counselor sexually assaulted a child. Staff told CPS, which sent that information to the Dane County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office referred findings to the district attorney, which decided not to file charges. Although staff did report the incident, the executive committee wasn't notified until December. The group says it has implemented leadership transitions, including resignations of its executive director, president, and the Camp Shalom director.
A case will move forward against a man charged with kidnapping and sexually assaulting a teenage girl from Janesville. This morning, Daniel Munoz entered a not guilty plea in Rock County Court, where he's charged with 5 felonies for alleged child sex crimes, 1 felony strangulation and suffocation charge, and a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge. Court records allege Munoz assaulted a 14-year-old multiple times at a home in Milton. He allegedly abducted her from her father's home in Janesville in October of last year. Dates for a jury trial have not yet been set. Anyone who has experienced sexual violence and needs support can call the Sexual Violence Resource Center's helpline at the number on your screen.
Right now, a week-long internet blackout in Iran continues after a wave of anti-government protests drew a deadly crackdown from the regime. A U.S.-based human rights group says the government has killed nearly 2,800 people. That number continues to rise. Members of Madison's Iranian community are pleading for people in Wisconsin and around the country to pay attention to a dire situation.
They will not stop slaughtering Iranian people. Please be voice of Iranian people.
9 p.m. they shut down the electricity, they shut down the internet, and there's been no connections with the families back in Iran. And at the same time, they're butchering the people like in the streets.
Demonstrators told our crew they hope with the little access that some Iranians have to the internet, they can see people in the U.S. raising their voices in support of them.
Dane County Executive Melissa Agard says her administration will carry out a review of the county's contracting practices in an effort to ensure that taxpayer dollars are being spent wisely. In a statement announcing the review, Agard said, quote, "Our community expects Dane County to lead with integrity, efficiency, and transparency. This initiative is about making sure every dollar we spend and every partnership we enter into reflects those values."
In Rock County, new rules will extend protections for victims of domestic abuse to close what the DA calls a, quote, hole in state law. Now, when a person is arrested of domestic violence, the victim can enforce a 72-hour no-contact order. If the person is criminally charged, a judge can make no contact with the victim a bond condition, but if the offender's court date is 6 to 8 weeks later, there's nothing to protect the victim after that first 72 hours. Rock County's new rule extends an enforced no contact until the first court date on most arrests for domestic violence. It also has another rule to speed up the timing of initial court dates to further protect victims.
In more local news, a Madison staple is looking to make some changes soon.
On News 3 Now's Maya Tate live at the Old Brick Gardens with how you can help. Maya?
Susan and Eric, Old Brick Botanical Gardens is looking to upgrade their space for the first time in over 20 years, and they want the public's input. As the garden is starting their process of creating a comprehensive master plan to update the space for the future, looking at aging infrastructure and possible expansions to keep up with the growing Madison and Dane County area. After a survey of 610 visitors conducted last summer, Old Brick estimated that visitors to the gardens contributed to $20.1 million of the Dane County economy.
So we know that because Madison and Dane County are growing so fast, we're going to see more guests in the future as well. And so we want to be able to plan for that, to welcome additional people to the gardens, to reap all the benefits of being in nature. We're inviting the public to come and share their feedback and their hopes and their dreams and what they want to see out of the gardens as well, because we really see this as a chance to grow with Madison.
The first set of public workshops to discuss the plans are identical and will be at noon and 6 p.m. on Thursday, January 22nd at Old Brick Botanical Gardens. There will be activities for kids as well as refreshments during the meeting. Future workshops will be in March and May for feedback to share the final plans. For more information and other ways to make sure your voice is heard, you can go to oldbrick.com/future. Reporting from Old Brick Botanical Gardens, Maya Tate, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maya. Sure looks pretty there behind her, doesn't it, tonight?
always is.
Well, right now, there are 2 candidates vying for a spot on Wisconsin's highest court in the April election. This week, the campaigns reported their fundraising numbers for 2025.
Political reporter Ellie LaLiberte breaks down the numbers and why they matter in the race for state Supreme Court.
The Liberal candidate in this race has raised 10 times more than the Conservative candidate. Chris Taylor has raised over $2.5 million, while Marie Lazar has raised more than $200,000. It is important to note that Taylor got into the race in May and Lazar in October. Now, some context here. Last spring, spending for the Wisconsin Supreme Court race surpassed $100 million, according to the Brennan Center for Law.
So there's a disparity there. So people are going to look at that and go, boy, oh boy, how, this campaign is really going to have to get moving. But remember what happened in the last race, too. A lot of outside groups came in and spent their own money. They didn't talk to the candidates. They came in and did their own ads. They did their own voter ID. They did their own turnout. That's going to happen, I should say. It could happen again. It has a history of happening.
Liberal candidates have won 4 of the past 5 Supreme Court races in Wisconsin. Even if the Liberals lose the April election, they will still hold the majority through at least 2028. The election is April 7th.
Thank you, Ellie. And also this week, candidates in the race for governor are reporting fundraising numbers. To hear what to pay attention to in those reports, you can watch For the Record this Sunday at 10:30 a.m.
Still to come at 5 News 3 Now's meteorologists are tracking bitterly cold weather ahead. Blaze is back with a look at when we can expect those in your First Warn forecast.
And as snow settles in, we have a crew out on our live drive tonight bringing you updates on how the weather is impacting road conditions. The markets finished the work week all down, all closing with a weekly loss. The Dow fell 83 points. The Nasdaq lost more than 14. The S&P 500 was down 4.5 at the closing bell. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
We're continuing with our team coverage of the weather in the 5 o'clock hour.
Let's send it back out to Arman Rahman live with updates on road conditions. Arman, how is it out there?
Eric and Susan, we are on 14 West headed towards Cross Plains, and things are picking up here right now. Take a look at the snow kind of picking up here as we continue to head west, as well as the wind. Not sure if you can see it in the camera, but there's a lot of blowing snow going across the roads right now. We did just pass a plow truck laying down salt. So again, that band of precipitation is expected to come from the west, from the northwest. So we are looking to see if we can get a glimpse of it before it hits the Madison area to tell you what is in store for you if the system does move in and continue on the path that it is headed on right now. So we'll be continuing to monitor the road conditions here, kind of going more west in our viewing area, west and northwest, and let you know what you can expect in your evening and later Friday night commute. For now, reporting live on US 14 West, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
All right, Arman, thank you. And let's see if Blaze can show us exactly where that band of snow is. He's watching that and the weekend forecast.
That's right. We're going to be dealing with snow pretty much from now through Sunday night, and then our first of maybe 2 rounds of Arctic air move on in. We're going to really experience those cold temperatures, especially Monday, not only in terms of wind chill values, but daytime highs as well, which may not even get above the single digits on Monday. There's that snow pretty much stretching from northern parts of the Chicagoland area all the way back into the Twin Cities, from Viroqua through central parts of our coverage area. That's where we do find more of that snow, particularly there in Sauk County, off towards where we just saw our Arman Rahman moving out of downtown Madison more into northeastern parts of Dane County. We're going to continue to watch these snow showers make their way across southern Wisconsin as we go throughout the overnight hours into your Saturday, because this low pressure system is slowly spinning its way across the UP right now of Michigan. It's got a long ways to go overnight into Saturday before it exits. Now, we will get a break from this round of snow Saturday night, and then Sunday, our second clipper moves on in. So expect scattered snow showers throughout the day on Saturday. With these breezy conditions expected to continue, we may get 1 or 2 snow squalls. Those alerts are going to be sent directly to your phone. And if you are on the road and you do come across either a snow squall or just some snow that maybe you don't feel comfortable driving through, slow down. And if you can, it is advised to pull off to the side and wait for the snow to pass. Once that high pressure system moves off towards the south, we get a break Saturday night into Sunday before our second clipper moves on in. Again, weekend, this is going to bring us another round of light, fluffy snow, as well as help usher in that Arctic air. So we're looking at an additional 1 to maybe 3 inches of snow on top of what we've already picked up this morning. This is going to continue to be more of that light, fluffier snow mixing in with breezy conditions. So expect some lower visibility as we go throughout the weekend. And then we turn our attention to Sunday night through at least Tuesday morning. That's when we have our first round of alert day conditions because wind chill values 25 to 35 degrees below zero starting Sunday, but particularly Monday morning. And this is kind of coming at maybe the perfect time since it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. Kids don't have to go to school. Many of us may not even have to go to work, so we don't have to deal with the cold. But over the weekend and into the start of next week, just limit your time and your pet's time outdoors. We're not really saying goodbye to the cold even on Tuesday when it is still going to feel about 10 to 20 degrees below zero waking up. So likely we'll see some school delays on Tuesday. You can always check in with us online or on air in the morning to get the latest on school delays or closures. Then we deal with maybe another round of Arctic air as we go into next weekend. Long-term models continue to keep us at about a 60 to 70% chance of being cooler than average as we go into the real true last days of January. I don't think that this is going to break down even after this. I could see the first few days of February leaning cooler than average as well. So it is a far different second half of January than the first half. We officially recorded a cooler than average day yesterday, marking the halfway point of the month, and I think from here on out, we're going to continue to remain cooler than average. Single-digit highs on Monday. That's why we have those alert day conditions with overnight lows slipping below zero with those dangerous wind chills. Flurries can't be ruled out throughout next week, but no major snowstorms. And then looking ahead to our upcoming weekend, the one after this one, once again, dealing with another round of Arctic air, single digits to low teens for highs by next Friday through that following Monday.
All right, Blaze, thank you. A heads up for those of you who are going to be driving in downtown Madison this weekend. Part of Bassett Street is closed so that crews can remove a crane. Bassett will be closed to traffic from West Johnson and West Dayton Street. The closure started today and it ends on Sunday. Pedestrian access will be open on the west side of North Bassett, and Metro's Bassett stop at Dayton will be relocated to West Dayton Street.
Dairy farmers in Wisconsin are welcoming a change they say is long overdue.
The Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act will once again allow whole milk to be served in schools nationwide, a move that farmers say will boost both nutrition and their businesses. Our Maren Rosen shows us why this change matters from the farm to the lunch tray.
Dairy farmers in the dairy state are feeling optimistic about the Trump administration's new legislation to allow whole milk to be served in schools nationwide. Katie Schultz is one of these farmers, running Trifecta Farms with her siblings.
When we look at what makes Wisconsin so unique, it's not just the incredible family farms, but it's also all of those farms and those communities and those businesses that support that as well.
But this new bill is helping her family beyond their business.
I was mostly excited as a mom, and so my daughter is in 6th grade. The skim milk isn't what her palate likes. So when we heard that it was going to be available in the schools, it was so exciting. And I'm so excited for kids to have such an incredible healthy option for them to choose while they're at school.
Whole milk has been considered unhealthy by federal dietary guidelines since 1990. But new guidelines released earlier this week encourage Americans to drink more of it.
This is just a huge win for dairy. The more that we can see people continuing to drive demand for dairy and making sure that we have outlets for our milk and places for people to consume that nutritious product, that's a win across the board, whether you're in Wisconsin, New York, or dare I say California.
And now this new legislation will bring whole milk to schools.
It's really giving all kids choices, and it's giving kids that maybe are lactose intolerant or have a sensitivity to lactose, they're getting more options too. When you go to the store, not only are you looking for milk, but also looking at the cheeses and looking for that proudly Wisconsin symbol on it. I think you know that your milk and your cheese and your other dairy products, whether that's a yogurt or a butter, is coming from the family farms here in Wisconsin. And that's important to make sure that we continue to support local, but support dairy across the board.
Reporting in Fox Lake, I'm Maren Rosen, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Marin. And the Trump administration is recommending that we consume more milk and more cheese, which will not be difficult here in Wisconsin.
No, I'm probably heavily endorsed in the Badger State. Still ahead, a Minneapolis woman recounts her experience getting caught up in a clash between anti-ICE protesters and agents. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Some breaking news nationally tonight. The U.S. Justice Department is investigating Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey over an alleged conspiracy to impede immigration agents. It comes as anti-ICE protesters continue to clash with officers days after an agent shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis. Now people who aren't participating are getting swept up in the chaos. One mother says she was driving her family home when her car got caught between protesters and ICE agents. She says officers told her to move, but released a canister of tear gas under her car before she could. The car went up in the air and slammed down. Strangers helped her kids get out, including her 6-month-old son.
And he was like lifeless, foam or bubbles coming out of his mouth. I had to give him mouth-to-mouth and CPR. And all I remember is like between every breath I was saying, I'm gonna give you every breath I have until you get yours back.
The mother of 6 says all of her children are physically fine but traumatized. Accounts like hers are piling up, drawing widespread criticism about how ICE agents are going about their stated objective, arresting and deporting people who are in the U.S. illegally.
Well, the president considering new tariffs on countries that oppose his plan for the U.S. to control the Danish territory of Greenland. The president made those comments as a U.S. delegation is in Copenhagen today to discuss cooperation with Denmark and Greenland. European nations are responding to America's push for Greenland with outrage and fear that this could rupture longstanding transatlantic ties. Several nations have started sending their troops to Greenland. And we're back with a final check of your First One forecast after a short break.
Coming up at 6, News 3 Sports, Kay Racine is live at Love Madison's game against Nebraska. That's at the top of the hour on News 3 Now at 6.
And remember, tomorrow you can watch the divisional round of the NFL playoffs right here on WISC TV. 3:30 Central Time kickoff, the Bills and the Broncos, the winner heading to the AFC Championship game.
And go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go right ahead.
I was just going to say we've got a short amount of time, so we are going to continue to track those snow showers on Radar 3000 throughout the rest of your evening with an update at 6. And after the snow wraps up, we cool on down for the start of next week.
We'll see you in 30 minutes.